day is finally here. The 2025 NFL Draft is just a few hours away. So coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers Report, Chase Sr. here with you. Could the Niners make a surprising pick with the 11th overall selection? We have a new Brock Purdy contract report from Dianna Russini. Are things inching closer toward a deal? And, of course, we're going to go through the latest buzz and rumors in the lead-up to Round 1 tonight. And speaking of that, we're going to be live right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report for every day, every round, talking about every single selection of the NFL Draft. Tonight, specifically, our coverage begins at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. That's 2 hours before the start of Round 1. It's the best Niners live draft coverage right here on YouTube. You don't want to miss it, so be sure to lock us in and hit that sub button right now. Let's begin with this. The NFL Draft is coming up tonight with Round 1 getting underway at 8 p.m. Eastern. Will the Niners make a shocking selection with the 11th overall pick? Daniel Jeremiah, NFL draft analyst for the NFL Network, released his final mock draft. And guess who he has going to the Niners at number 11? Gray Zabel, offensive lineman out of North Dakota State. And I know a lot of people would probably freak out if the Niners went in this direction, but we've been saying for years here on the show, and you share the same opinion as me, the Niners need to improve their offensive line. And I think that San Francisco would be able to do that with this pick. Zabel is one of the top offensive linemen in this class. He could be the number 1 center in this draft class or start at left guard to help replace Aaron Banks. He has fantastic positional versatility while at North Dakota State. 17 starts at right tackle, 16 starts at left tackle. He was an All-American last year, 4 at left guard, and 3 at right guard. And he's very athletic as a prospect, a good scheme fit under Kyle Shanahan. He's very fluid on the run with light feet and strong hands. The anchor needs to improve a little bit, but I like the upper body strength, and there's something to work with that lower half. He's been very durable, 36 straight starts to end his college career, and he fits the mold of what the Niners look for as far as a locker room presence. Team captain, team leader. Some people within that program have said he's one of the most impressive people I've ever been around, and he would be an instant upgrade at center over Jake Brendel or at left guard over Aaron Banks. Don't let this fool you. Just because he played at North Dakota State, small school level, FCS, doesn't mean he'll be a bust. Now at number 11, going with a left guard or center might be a little bit too early, but what if down the road he could play offensive tackle? I think he's more of an interior offensive lineman, by the way, and I don't want people to freak out in saying, we drafted Trey Lance in 2021 out of North Dakota State. Look at what happened to him. He was nearly out of the NFL prior to signing with the Chargers. Just because Gray Zabel played at North Dakota State doesn't mean he's not going to work out at the NFL level just because he played at the same school as Trey Lance. He fared very well going up against D1 high-level talent at the Reese's Senior Bowl. He was one of the top offensive linemen in Mobile, Alabama. And when you turn on the tape, he's a very impressive player. This past year at left tackle, and that goes to show you the athleticism and some of the quickness that he has if he moves to the interior. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 90.4. Pass blocking grade of 93.1. Run blocking grade of 86.5. He only gave up 1 sack. 7 penalties. I'd like to see him clean that up a little bit, but only surrendered 2 quarterback hits and 4 hurries on 970 snaps. I interviewed him at the NFL Combine. Very impressed by the dude in person. Very impressed by the prospect on tape. So be honest with me. What would your reaction be if the Niners drafted Gray Zabel at number 11? Let me know down in the comment section right now. I'm sure we're going to get opinions all over the place on this one. More to get to here on the show. We'll get to that report from Dianna Russini on Brock Purdy just around the corner. But first, today's show is sponsored by our friends at Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Buying tickets is faster and easier with this app, and you can save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets to go to sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and a whole lot more. They have a bunch of great features, and I was able to see that over the weekend when I was in Boston. We had a crew of about 14 people as my best friend ran the Boston Marathon, and we waited until the last minute to go to Fenway Park. An incredible experience, and we were able to get so many seats in right field. We had a special message go up to JJ on the right field scoreboard, and because we waited until the last minute, we got the best deal, and we saved a lot of money. You can have that happen for yourself as well when you use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS. You get $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive, and Game Time has the lowest price guaranteed. Otherwise, they will credit you 110% of the difference. Be sure to toggle the all-in pricing tool. That will show you your total up front without any of those horrible surprise fees at checkout. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. That's the code, CHATSPORTS. All right, let's get to Brock Purdy. There appears to be progress with this whole Brock Purdy contract saga a few months away from the start of the 2025 season. After months of negotiations, back and forths, rumors, speculation, the Niners and Purdy appear to be closing in on a deal. According to NFL insider Dianna Russini, the Niners and Purdy are inching closer toward getting a contract done. And that contract would make Purdy a top 10 highest paid quarterback in average annual value. There was a sign earlier this week that things appear to be in a good spot. Brock Purdy showed up to the start of OTAs. Now, he was never going to let Mac Jones get QB1 reps all throughout the spring and summer. Purdy is a high-character guy, a great teammate. It's part of the reason why the Niners absolutely love him and why they're all in on him. But it's also a sign that things are in a good spot, because if they weren't, and Purdy and the Niners weren't seeing eye to eye, and there was hostility between the two parties, maybe he wouldn't show up to OTAs. But it's so refreshing to see Purdy show up, Fred Warner show up, because they're two of the leaders and captains on this football team. Here's the report from Russini. She said the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy inching closer to a long-term extension, according to sources close to the situation. The contract is expected to include an average annual value that ranks inside the top 10 in the NFL at Purdy's position. And we'll see what the guaranteed money is, right? And the guaranteed money is going to be a huge component of this. And hopefully the Niners can get a decent deal as far as the guaranteed money. For instance, Deshaun Watson got $230 million in guaranteed money. It's one of the worst contracts ever. Some other players have gotten more, some other players have gotten less, but that's a big barometer. As far as the average annual value, if Purdy's inside the top 10, that's okay. As I continue to say, I think if he's between 50 and 55, that's a win for Purdy, who hasn't made more than $1 million in a season yet, and he's obviously highly compensated for a player who is deserving of that mark. It's a win for the Niners, because if Purdy continues to play at a high level, the NFL salary cap is going to increase. Quarterback salaries, in turn, will go up. And that Brock Purdy deal could end up being a bargain. And where's he going to land? Look, on this list, I think he's better than Jared Goff. I think he's better than Tua Tagovailoa. I think he's better than Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love. And so between 50 and 55, it's the going rate for a quarterback of that stature. Also from Russini, the Niners expected to stick and pick at the 11th overall pick. And she also added that San Francisco is hoping for an edge rusher. As I said yesterday on the show, it feels as though the Niners are going to take Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon. If Mason Graham falls, that could be a player who they decide to take as well. What's also interesting is that even though George Kittle responded to Dianna Russini and said, "Your sources are wrong," Russini has doubled down on her Kittle report. Here's the tweet that went viral from the People's tight end after Russini had reported that both sides were far apart in contract negotiations. Kittle said it himself. "Your source is incorrect." But then Russini came out with this information after Kittle sent that tweet out. Purdy showed up for the start of Niners OTAs, while star teammate George Kittle did not. Kittle wants to become the NFL's highest paid tight end per a league source. Trey McBride reset the market earlier this offseason. The 25-year-old inked a 4-year, $76 million pact with Arizona. That's $19 million per year, by the way. San Francisco's offers to Kittle have thus far been rebuffed, and the two sides remain apart as Kittle, who will be 32 years old in October, enters the final year of his deal. I'm told no trade request has been made, but other teams are keeping an eye on it. Now, as far as the trade goes, Dianna Russini reporting that no trade request has been made by George Kittle, but other teams are monitoring the situation. It's easy to see why a team would want to trade for the best all-around tight end in football, who's a great locker room presence, who is showing no signs of slowing down, who's the best all-around tight end in the NFL, who's highly impactful as a blocker, as a pass catcher. He's dynamite in picking up yards after the catch. He's a great red zone target. His touchdown numbers have skyrocketed ever since Brock Purdy became the team's starting quarterback. And so if Kittle were to become available, if he were to request a trade for a tight end needy team, they would pony up $20 million per year for Kittle. But I think a deal ultimately does get done. You don't let Special walk out of the door. Kittle is a franchise icon, a team captain. He's part of the fabric of this organization, and you have to treat those players a little bit differently than players who you don't draft and develop. Other than Kyle Juszczyk, he's the longest tenured Niner on this roster, and he's been a go-to player for Brock Purdy. And so if you pay Purdy a contract extension, I think it's really vital to also pay Kittle because they can continue to thrive and flourish together. The highest paid tight ends in the National Football League. This is a reason why Kittle is looking for a pay bump, and he's looking for a new deal. He's going into the final year of his contract. He's going to be 32 years old. And so, of course, there's some risk with his playing style, him being physical, and with the age, but he's outplayed the current construct of his deal. He's better than TJ Hawkinson. He's better than Travis Kelce, and he's better than Trey McBride. So when this deal gets done for Kittle, I would expect and imagine it comes in at about $20 million in average annual value, making him the highest paid tight end in football. Can't wait for the NFL draft tonight. It's going to be absolutely awesome. The Niners are tied for the most picks in the draft with 11 this year. Every single time they make a pick, deep dive analysis on that prospect. And, of course, we'll be live for the entirety of the draft. Be sure to give me a follow on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior. I'm going to be pushing out so much Niners content over there in addition to all of the Niners content right here on YouTube.